Hello and welcome to another LA Photo Party webinar. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are around the world. I hope that you are staying safe and secure in your homes wherever you are. So today we're going to be talking about Muse Mosaic software. Now this is going to be a really crucial thing to talk about, especially as it pertains to the current economic environment and the current quarantine conditions that everyone is subjected to. So Muse Mosaic is capable of doing both physical mosaics with a backdrop and digital mosaics using screens, projectors, or whatever other media you wish to use to project a digital image. Now, due to the nature of this presentation, I'm going to be skewing things towards the digital version, but I will make reference to the physical aspect of things as well. So, this is going to take just a minute. I want to make sure that you can all hear me, that you can all see me, and that everything is working as intended. If nothing is happening or if you have any issues, please let us know in the comments so that we can make corrections and fix anything that needs to be done before we begin. We'll begin in just a moment. How's our stream looking there? We're looking good?
We're looking good. Richard
Great.
says hi from Guatemala.
Hi, Richard from Guatemala. Hello from Glendale, Los Angeles, California. It's pretty dreary outside, so keeping warm. I like grey. I wore grey the last time I did this, so there's a pattern that's going to be developing. Okay, we'll give it just a few more seconds to have everyone tune in before we really get started. I will walk you through my lovely desktop over here. And as you can see, I'm probably appearing on the bottom right-hand corner, really keyed out, so I'm your desktop friend while I do this. Fun times. So, on our last webinar, we did PPU and the helper and kiosk, and we were talking about how PPU works. This laptop right now for today is configured to use Muse Mosaic. So, just as to give you an idea as to how I've set this up today, I have my Muse Mosaic assets, which are in this folder. These are going to include ads, they're going to include extra images and icons and things I'm going to use to show you how Muse Mosaic works. I then have Muse Mosaic over here, ready to go. And I also have the root folder for Muse Mosaic since I've installed the software, and it's going to have a ton of things on the desktop. A lot of tests have happened to make sure that this actually all works. So without further ado, I think enough people are jumping on. And by the way, if you are joining us late, just know that this webinar is going to be recorded and we will make it available for you to watch later on. So don't worry if you missed something or if you want to go back and try and understand how something works. We will get to that later on, and there's always a chance for you to watch the webinar at a later date. Okay, let's get ourselves started. So here's Muse Mosaic. It's a rather attractive icon, at least I think so. So one of the main things that we're going to do before we even get started is to make sure that the Muse Mosaic background picture that we're going to be creating the mosaic from is on our desktop. This is going to make it easier to find when we launch the Mosaic software and make sure that everything is working correctly. Another thing that is a good practice is to make sure that you have a folder on the desktop. In this case, I've named it Hashtag. This will all make sense later on, but this is just good practice. Make sure that the Billboard image, which is going to be the mosaic image, is on your desktop, ready to find, and also that you have a folder, in this case I've named it Hashtag, where if you have remote photographers or if you're going to be doing hashtag printing using PPU, Photo Party Upload, all the images will go there as a central location first. This helps you with the management of your event and just makes things easier to find and control as events continue. So let's get started. Muse Mosaic requires administrator privileges just because it uses advanced file management features in Windows, and it needs to have the correct access to make sure that all of these function correctly. So to do this, you would right click on the Muse Mosaic icon once it's installed, and you would run it as an administrator. Now this will force you to do it every single time. So a nice little pro tip to make sure you don't have to worry about it each time, head over to Properties, Compatibility, and then the option over here, run this program as administrator, make sure that that is checked. This will automatically run Muse Mosaic as an administrator. If Muse isn't running with administrator privileges, it will show you a message saying, please run the app with admin privileges in order to make sure that everything works as intended. So if you get that message, come through to this dialog, turn on the admin options, and make sure that it's doing so. Right. Oh, me and my big thumbs went and clicked on the wrong button there. Okay, so let's open up Muse Mosaic. Go yes, we will allow the changes to happen, and we are initializing Muse Mosaic. Great, welcome to the home screen. Now I am using a dev version for the purposes of this demo because there are some features that I want to talk about and features that I want to show you that aren't necessarily available in the published version of Muse Mosaic just yet. Don't worry, updates are going to be coming to the software within the next few weeks, and these will introduce some of the features that I'm talking about. And this is just one way that Muse Mosaic is continually evolving to make sure that your events and everything else is running just the way you like it. So this is the Muse Mosaic home screen. Okay, everything flows in a logical way. We've tried to make things flow from left to right as easily as possible to make things easy to find. Now, there are going to be some concepts that I'm going to be introducing here. We'll go slow, we'll take our time, and I'm going to walk you through setting up a mosaic, right the way through from going from a physical mosaic to a digital mosaic, and some of the advanced features that are available as a result of that. So, let's dig in. One of the first things you're going to do is create a new session. Okay, so think of a session as an event. So if you have a client that has a very specific mosaic that they want to do, this is where you will probably name the session after that client. Because I'm doing a webinar and I'm being beamed into millions, well, not millions yet, but however many of you are actually watching, I'm going to name this webinar. So let's create a new session. This will create a new set of folders to store your mosaic images and data. Okay. What am I going to call it? Well, I'm going to be extremely creative right now and call it webinar, just like that. And we will click OK. Now I have a new session that's created. And if you were to look into the root folder access of Muse Mosaic right now, it would say webinar, but you know, we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to explain the waiting room and the watched folder. These are going to be folders that Muse Mosaic is going to use to look for images to put into the mosaic. We'll get into those details in a little bit. So I've now created a new session. Okay, so now the software knows, okay, I'm not resuming an older mosaic. The software hasn't crashed. I don't need to recover an older mosaic. This is a completely new session. Where do we go next? Event admin. Okay. So event admin is where you are going to go, and this is where you're going to tell the software what the billboard image is. Now, to clarify some terminology, in Muse Mosaic, a billboard image is the image that you are making the mosaic out of. So in this case, this is why I suggested have the billboard image on your desktop, because it'll be easy to find. You can navigate to where it says billboard image on the software itself, click on that, and then it'll open up a dialog for you to navigate and tell the software where this billboard image is. So for example, if I were to select this mosaic graphic, look at that, the billboard image changes. But for the purposes of our webinar today, and to promote a responsible attitude to the current pandemic, we have a lovely safer at home billboard image right over here, which has the world being held, and that's the mosaic that we will be using for the purposes of our webinar. One thing to note about your billboard image. If you are doing a physical mosaic, make sure that the aspect ratio of your billboard image matches the aspect ratio of the physical billboard image you intend to do. So if you intend to do, in this case, a 60 by 60 inch, as you can see, the physical size of the mosaic is being indicated at the bottom of that billboard image. Make sure that the physical grid that you're printing out to stick those stickers on matches, so that the aspect ratio of the billboard image matches as well. Okay, so the two are related. In this case, I have a square billboard image that is 60 by 60. So my physical billboard with my grid and my coordinates will be 60 by 60 as well, and it's also going to be a square. So when you are talking to your clients and your clients are throwing about ideas as to, okay, what could be a great billboard image to use, keep that in mind so you can guide them to the best possible billboard image in terms of aspect ratio, in terms of image number, and also the type of billboard image you have. Billboard images that have solid colors tend to be a rather poor choice as opposed to a billboard image that has some dynamism and different colors and hues, because that's what makes a mosaic pop. So that's a pro tip, just to tell your clients, okay, here's a suggestion for a billboard image that will make the image look good. It won't have just one shade. So for example, a completely purple image background doesn't work the best, but something with different colors, different gradients may work better to showcase just how good a mosaic can be. If you look at the grid size over here, this grid size is 30 by 30. So we're going horizontal and vertical in terms of the directions that we are doing over here. If I modify the mosaic size and shape, right now at 60 by 60 inches, it's going to be 900 images. How do we get to this number? So we've told the Mosaic software, which I will show you in a moment, that we're going to be using 2 by 2 inch stickers. So if this was a physical mosaic, we're going 2 inch by 2 inch, which is a square, for the stickers that we'll be using. Using the grid size and the sticker size, it'll take 900 images to fill out this mosaic. So the software has already pre-computed that for you. And that's the number that we see over here. What happens if I change this? So if I start to change the grid size, notice the physical size is changing as well. Now I'm at an 80 by 80 inch square, but now it's going to take 1600 images to fill that square at the same 2 inch by 2 inch sticker size. So that's something to keep in mind over there. You can also change the aspect ratio of things by modifying this width to height section over here. And as you can see, all these changes are being shown in real time to show you how they would work. I'm going to keep things simple, and I'm just going to go 60 by 60. So let's dial this back down. So there'll be 900 images, and I want to keep the aspect ratio a square. Okay. Now, here's another nice little thing you can do here. You can change the way the color tuning looks, which will directly affect how the mosaic looks. So if you want to bias having more of the picture that you are building show, or perhaps you want to showcase the more individual images that are making up the mosaic, this is where you would change that as a setting. This is also the differentiator between Muse Mosaic outputting a true mosaic versus one that is tuned. So now, what do I mean by true mosaic? Well, some software that claims to do mosaic is only capable of adding a hue to a sticker or an image and then placing it where it thinks it should go based on what it just changed, versus analyzing the image, seeing what colors that image is made of, and then placing it specifically on the mosaic where it thinks it's required. So this is where you can do that. I can modify the blend versus the color, and as you can see, that changes in real time. And I can also change the tuning intensity to either bias having more of the images available, or maybe I want the image to be a bit more opaque and have more of the background show. All of these options enable you to customize how your mosaic looks before you begin. Muse Mosaic is able to help you out when it comes to this. So why are these features useful? So say, for example, that you have a roaming photographer, or you have pictures coming in from the internet. Those pictures will likely have a different background every time versus the static background, which is probably my desktop, happening every single picture. So if you have different images coming in, then it makes more sense for Muse Mosaic to analyze and look at the image and go, oh, right, this has this color bias, and then place it to where it needs to be on the mosaic itself to make the billboard image work. But now, say you are at an event where there's a static background. It's a lovely backdrop full of flowers, or maybe it's a billboard that the client wants all the guests to take a picture behind or in front of. In that case, the backdrop is going to be the same. So now with that, it makes it more difficult to have a mosaic that looks good and has all the pictures in the right place. So this is where optimizing for color placement or playing with these color tuning settings will allow you to overcome that and have the software place the images where it needs to be. That was a lot to take on. So later on, when this is being played back, if you wish to pause and go back and try and understand what I'm talking about, trust me, this will make your mosaic look really good, really professional, and set you apart from everyone else who claims to be doing the same thing. So those are powerful features being delivered to you so that you can do incredible things. So getting back to what we're talking about here, I'm going to select this lovely blend here. I'm going to go 55 and I'm going to go, what are we thinking of? 70 here. Okay, let's go 80. So you can see the Safer at Home logo is happening. You can see the world is happening, but it also looks like a mosaic, as opposed to just whitewashing everything and making it, oh, well, what are we doing here? So those are the settings I'm going to choose over here. So now that we have selected what our billboard image is, and we have set some of the tuning in terms of the color of how we want our mosaic to look and so on and so forth, let's move on. Now, I'm going to step into the printing side of things for now. So this is also going to assume that you're going to be printing mosaics, putting them on a lovely big billboard and marveling at how it looks. Print layout. This is where you determine the sticker size and also the number of stickers per page. Muse Mosaic is able to use almost any label printer that is supported by Windows. So as long as Windows will recognize your printer and the driver is supported, Muse Mosaic will look at that and go, ah, yes, perfect, I can now use that printer. The number of stickers per page. Most label printers will just print out one sticker. I mean, that's how we do things. So in this case, 1 by 1 is what we want to do. And this is where you can customize the paper size as well. So you would look at the media that your label printer is using, and then you would tell Muse Mosaic what the size of it is. So that's where that happens. What's also useful if you're at a live event with real stickers is the text position and the size of that. So if you want it to be a larger font, you can do so over here. And notice on the picture, the font size is getting bigger. It won't be that big in practice, only because you want to actually see what the mosaic is versus having a ton of grid coordinates that are showing you, go to R30, C30 to place your image. So this just allows your guest to see it better and be able to place it on the grid in a much easier fashion. I know some of us have got really tired eyes, so needing to do that, that can wear quite thin. So that feature is there just for you. If we go over to the printer side, this is where you would select a printer. So once you've installed it and installed the driver within Windows, it will be available for Muse Mosaic to select. Select the printer you need, make sure that the printer settings match. So the printer settings need to match the paper and the output you're doing. They all need to match in the driver. Those of you who are seasoned photo booth professionals will be looking at me right now and saying, that's quite basic and quite elementary. I agree. But you'd be surprised how many issues on site can be alleviated just by paying attention to some of these basic features that need to be paid attention to make sure that you don't have issues later on. I believe I hear sirens, so apologies for that. Oh, let's wait a bit. Ooh, listen to that. Hopefully whoever they are assisting is okay, considering the times we're in. So let's jump back into it, shall we? So printers, this is where you have the printers selected and you make sure that your printer settings are placed appropriately. Now, image placement is a very, very important tab for certain reasons. You can either have Muse Mosaic place things in a completely randomized way, or you can have the software optimized placement for color match. This is where Mosaic is looking at the pictures that are coming in, going, oh, this image is made up of these things, and then placing them accordingly on the mosaic. You can also apply a density map. Now this is a really cool feature. When it comes to the density map, it means that you can specify what part of the mosaic will actually fill out first. So an example would be, say BMW hires you for an event and they say, right, we want to use your company to help showcase one of our new models. Now you can have every other part of the mosaic fill out first, but then the car itself fill in last. Then you can incite excitement and say, right, we're getting close to revealing what this model is. Everyone send in your pictures, take a picture, do whatever you can. Let's get all these pictures coming in. And then the software will then begin to fill out the car last, and then it's a reveal. This feature is also great for doing text. So you could have Mosaic or BMW or whatever brand or corporate you have, and have the text of that fill in. And that will then allow you to have a fantastic separation. It's a really great feature and really makes the image pop, so that those colors or those pictures are the ones that make up the mosaic, and it looks really, really fun and fancy. So that's where placement sequence and image placement live. In terms of save mosaic image, we'll get to that in a bit. But to give you a long story short, this is where you would save the mosaic billboard image at the end of the event. So once the event is done, you can come back here and ask Mosaic to generate a very, very high resolution file for you to then to give to your client, and then they can print it and blow it up in really, really good detail to perhaps hang up in a lobby of their corporate headquarters so they can remember what that event and what that occasion was. So that's what that is. Let's talk about extra images. A lot of people are worried about, okay, I'm now doing an event, but I'm not sure if I can get enough pictures to come in, okay? Or you aren't quite sure whether you have enough time to complete the mosaic even though you've got foot traffic. So the extra images function allows you to have extra images come into the mosaic to complete it. Pro tip here would be, okay, ask your client for pictures from previous events. So a lot of corporates have already done corporate events in the past. Ask them for stock images of those events. They will give them to you, place them somewhere accessible, and then you can point the software to that folder so that when the mosaic seems to be falling behind, it will pull images from that, analyze them, and then place them on the mosaic so it completes on time. This is a great way to give peace of mind to corporate clients who have perhaps a smaller footprint, or there's a time issue where you aren't quite sure whether the mosaic will complete by the time you want it to. So that's a great feature to have, and one to always advertise when you're advertising your mosaic services. Ooh, that's a lot. Hopefully you're keeping up. I hope you've got snacks at the ready, coffee at the ready, and whatever it is that you're doing to make yourself comfortable while I take you through this journey. So now that we've talked about the event admin settings, and we've set up what that billboard image is going to be, and we've set up what the image placement and all those things are, we now need to start talking about a few of the advanced features. And those all exist on this advanced tab over here. Now remember, I told you to create a hashtag folder or a special folder on the desktop, which I've created over here. There's a reason why I did that. So in current times, just due to the nature of what the world is dealing with right now, in-person events aren't a good idea. In fact, they are outlawed, which is a good thing. But what if you want to talk to a client who is a corporate and say, right, I can do a digital mosaic for you and have everyone around the world contribute to it and watch it develop in real time? There's several ways to get through to that. So by creating a hashtag folder, you can use Photo Party Upload, PPU in this case, to activate hashtag printing. Set this hashtag folder as the watched folder in the output folder within PPU, so that as those hashtag images are coming in, they will hit this folder first. When it comes to photo moderation, you can then select that folder, preview each image before it comes into the mosaic, just for safety's sake, because the internet is the internet and you have no idea what will come in. So it's good for someone to manually review the images coming in that are being sent by either text. Yes, you can text Photo Party Upload via MMS if you're in the US and Canada, and that's expanding to other territories as well. And you can also use the hashtag prints to get those pictures using hashtags coming in from Twitter or Instagram. Those images will land on that hashtag folder. You get to choose where that folder is. In my case, I've chosen hashtag folder on the desktop. I've pointed the software to that is, so that's where all my images are going to come from if we were running a digital version of this on the internet. So now that I've selected what that hashtag folder is, and I have customized what my billboard image is, I've selected what my mosaic shape is, I've got my tuning and my colorization, I'm pretty much good to go because I've selected where my extra images are, etc., etc. I'm going to bring it back to the physical side for just a sec. If you were doing a physical mosaic, this is where you go to the billboard. If you want to see the whole thing, click Filter Fit. This is 900 squares right here. You would then save this billboard image as either a PDF, a PSD, or a PNG, so you can give this to a local printer. This local printer can then print it on whatever media you want. It could be foam core, it could be whatever you like that you want your mosaic boards to be made of. And it will have the grid and the grid layout that you'll then use at the event physically. So there's no need to order boards from us or to order boards that are just generic. You can customize every single aspect of this to your liking. So this is where you would, modify the gaps between cells or change the values that you need. So save the billboard, give that file to your local printer, let them have at it, and then you should be good to go for that reason. So, quick recap. I do like recapping things just so that I haven't left anyone behind and we're all moving forward in the same direction. So what do you do first? Save your billboard image on your desktop or somewhere where it's easy to find. Select billboard image in the software itself. This will then enable you to point the software to where that is. In this case, Safer at Home is the billboard image that we're going to be using. Oh, I hear more sirens. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully they aren't interfering with the feed too much. Let us know if you can hear them and they trouble you and I need to stop, or if I can just push on through. You let me know. So once you've done the billboard image and you've told the software where the billboard image is, oh, this one got really loud. Hang on. Can you guys hear that?
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just push on then. So we have our billboard image selected. We've told the software what the billboard image is. It's given us a preview. We've tuned the color tuning and the intensity of that. As you can see, it happens in real time. I've told the software what my printer is, if I'm using a printer. I've told it what the printer should be. The image placement with the density map. In this case, I'm just going to go completely randomized because that's going to be fun to see. And you can also save the mosaic image at the end, and the extra images while the event is going on, and we'll pull images to make sure the event completes on time, are saved here. We went to advanced and we pointed what the hashtag folder should be to a hashtag folder we created on the desktop, just so that we have that easy and good to go. With me so far? Fantastic. Let's crack on. Now, the next thing we want to do is just make sure that our live viewer and everything is configured correctly. Now I'm going to pivot to a more digital side of things. So if I look over here, live viewer, this is where you can change where the animations and where the image animates and moves into the mosaic when it's a digital thing. So I can select what that frame is. I can select the path it takes. Please experiment with these because these are all fun and they're really interesting in terms of the effects that can happen, so you can really make a digital mosaic look unique. So that's what I've got over here. I've got this path selected. I've told it the animation duration, so that's how long it'll animate while it's moving the image into place digitally, and the effects that it's going to be using. So that's tile dynamics. Here's a fun feature. Mosaic Animations. So it's one thing to have a digital mosaic sitting there waiting for a picture. It's another thing to have it animated and keep it moving in a fluid way that's interesting to watch. So this is where we have custom masks which allow you to animate the mosaic while the mosaic is completing. And we have a fun variety of shapes and animals and fun things to do. You can also create your own, just make sure they're black and white, add them to Muse Mosaic, and then it'll be able to create the shape that you've desired as a mask. In this case, I'm going to tell it to use a random mask and only the placed images. And then there's going to be a duration timeline as to when it'll do them and how. So when the mosaic has been sitting for a period of time, it'll then animate them into the shape of whatever creature or mask that you've decided, and then it'll go back to displaying the normal mosaic. So that's one way to keep it interesting, to keep it fresh, and also save your screens. If you have an OLED screen and you don't want burn-in, keep that in mind as well. Adverts. This is a great feature to talk about when it comes to corporates. So you have the ability to display adverts or commercials. They can either be an image or they can be a video. So what's great is that you could have right now a mosaic that's playing globally, that's streaming online. I'll talk about that in a little while. And you can have ads which are going to be showing text or pictures display, perhaps to encourage people to stay at home or to give hope to first responders, thanking them. You know, you could customize this to whatever you want. If it were a more appropriate and fun time, you could be, thank you for attending this corporate party. We wish you all the best, or Happy New Year. The list is endless. So there's an advertisements folder that's built into the root file system of Muse Mosaic. You don't need to go there just yet. Click on the advertisements folder. Guide the software to where everything is. In this case, I have test graphics saved as a folder over here. I'll click adverts, and then there we go. I now have ads that are going to play as video ads during the mosaic. I can then select whatever ad I want to play during that time. In this case, I've selected all three. You can activate them. If you have a lot of them, you can just say select all media and we'll do that automatically. And then this is where you determine how many ads people see per hour. So just for the purposes of our demonstration, I'm going to say 30 per hour. If you have a really big mosaic and you want them to see less or more, this is where you change that setting. And then the sequence will be as shown or randomize. So I'm going to choose randomize. You can test commercial if you have a live viewer already running. We'll get to that in a moment. So right now we're just setting the foundations to make sure we've got a good base, and then we will build on top of that. So this is where you'll then select what your media selection will be. Now the live viewer has several options. Okay, you can either choose a background color, or you can choose a specific type of a background. So for example, if you have a corporate client and they have a logo or background that they want you to show while the mosaic is filling in, this is where you would select it. But for me, I'm going to be really dull right now so you can see what I'm doing, and just select a black background and keeping it simple. Okay. The next thing over here is the logo and backdrop. So during the live view, it allows you to have a corporate logo. So you could have that logo displayed during that digital mosaic as it's building. That will be displayed in the corner, and then whatever streaming software you have will pick that up, beam it across the world. And it's just another way for the corporate client to be customized, to make sure that everything is branded. And branding, when it comes to any sort of corporate client, goes a very, very long way. And Muse Mosaic has been designed for branding in mind, from the background image to potentially having your billboard have a specific background, to logos that are going to be on the actual mosaic itself. So everything is done with branding in mind. So you can activate those and upsell for them. These are great to increase your profit margins, keep your client happy, and help deliver a unique experience overall. So that's a lot of stuff that we've been talking about. You can do your overlay image over here. So it's got transparency and it's a PNG, just like most overlays are. And then your background, just a standard JPEG, keeping things simple over there. So we have gone through, we've got our billboard already set and good to go. Selected our printers, selected how the mosaic image is going to go. The next thing we've done, we have gone to our advanced tab, told it what the hashtag folder is going to be. This hashtag folder is so important because the images will hit it first, and then you can modify and you can verify that this image is appropriate before allowing it to go onto the mosaic, which is crucial when it comes to ensuring your corporate clients are happy and satisfied with what you're doing. All of these other options are on the advanced side. One that I will talk about later on will be an advanced feature that's going to be coming up in an update, so stay tuned for that. Right, now we've been doing a lot of talking about things, so let's actually get a bit more practical with things now and get ourselves going. So I have a lovely library of Mosaic images that I have here as stock images, because I want to show you practically what the workflow will be. So one thing that you need to keep in mind, remember I was talking about those photo moderation features? If you click on the photo moderation tab, all of the images that will hit the hashtag folder, if I activate this here, will then be looked for in that hashtag folder. It will pull them to the waiting room folder, and then from there, if you approve them, they will go to the watched folder. So think of it like this. You are going to go to the doctor's office, and you've got the parking lot, you have the lobby, and then you have the doctor's consultation room. So you want to make sure at every single step that whoever's coming in there is meant to be there, right? So the parking lot, in this case, could be the hashtag folder. That's where everyone from the general public is coming in, and they may be going to the doctor's office, they may not be. They may just be parking in the lot, hoping not to get towed while they go get a burger across the street. Who knows? The waiting room folder is going to be the lobby. That's where the pictures have been verified. Okay, these are the pictures that I'm going to potentially use in my mosaic, and this is where I will vet that a picture is able to be used. And then you can manually move it over to the watched folder. And from the watched folder, which is the consultation room, that's when it'll be put into the mosaic and be ready to use and display on the mosaic itself. So these are things that will help you make sure that no inappropriate images make it onto the mosaic, keeping you safe, keeping everyone happy, and making sure that things are working the way they're supposed to. Because the internet is the internet, and it's a wild west out there. So, a couple of things to note here. I've activated all file types because you never know what type of image will be coming in. Most social media will be doing JPEGs, but there could be any myriad of photographs coming in. For example, if you have a roaming photographer who is connected via a Dropbox sync folder that's synchronizing with that hashtag folder, they could be doing TIFF images, they could be doing all manner of file formats. Don't do RAW, pro tip. But those will go there first, so just make sure that those are selected. Ask for move confirmation is a good feature to have turned on, so you can make absolutely sure that these pictures are the ones I want in my mosaic. And then, crucially, activate the hashtag folder. Now, I've been talking about this folder as if it already exists for the vast majority of our mosaic users. This is going to be coming up as an update, but I want to mention it specifically because it makes things so much easier. There's no more file management or jumping into Windows Explorer to do what I'm doing now. It'll just happen for you very, very easily. So let's go back to my Muse Mosaic images, right? There they are. So I'm going to select a couple of these and paste them directly into my hashtag folder. Okay? So I will place them here. Lovely. I now have a ton of images that have arrived. Now what the software has done is looked at that hashtag folder, immediately gone, I have images there. And if you look, those images were transferred into the waiting room folder. So now they're waiting for me to approve them to start them going into the actual watched folder, which will run the mosaic. So if you're running a digital mosaic internationally or locally in this case, and you have a corporate client who says, right, we'll do this campaign, we will get people hyped for it, maybe 24 hours before, you will have images with that hashtag already good to go. So you'll have a starting point for your mosaic. So that's where we are right now. How do we actually begin this mosaic? Click on Live Progress, and you would click Start. But I just want to make sure that all my settings are correct. So let's head over to Event Admin. My billboard is good. Okay. I'm not going to be using extra images because this is a demo and I just want to show you an overview. So I selected my billboard image. I've customized my grid size. I've done my color tuning, so that is correct. My printers are brilliant. They've been turned on and I'm good to go. The next thing I want to do is to make sure that my photo moderation features are turned on correctly. I'll then go to the live viewer. I've made sure that I have a logo if I'm using a logo. I've got a backdrop if I'm using a backdrop. My tile dynamics are set correctly. My mosaic animations are set correctly. And if I'm doing ads, my ads are set correctly. In this case, they aren't. Check, check, double check. So I'm going to turn all of them on. There we go. And here's something to note. This duration is going to be for still images only. If you have a video playing here, it will play the entire duration of the video. So if you have a 2-minute long commercial, it will play the entire 2 minutes. If you have a static image, it will display for the amount of time, that's duration in seconds over there. So keep that in mind when you're doing videos. Make sure that it's of an appropriate duration so it's not too long. Okay, now here's a nice little pro tip. For people who are going to be doing this digitally and intend to get a larger corporate client who wants to stream this to a platform, we are using YouTube, for example, to stream this particular webinar, and we're using OBS for that. OBS allows you to either capture the main screen that you're working on or a secondary screen. For the purposes of Muse Mosaic, if you're going to use that software, you can capture a second screen. Here's how you would do it. Right, so once OBS is set to capture your second monitor connected to your laptop or computer via HDMI, you would click on full screen, open Mosaic Viewer. I don't have a second screen connected here. So if I were to click on full screen, it would go full screen and all you would see is black, right? Click escape to do that. So you would have this, you would drag this across to wherever your second screen is, and then you would click full screen, and then OBS would capture that particular screen and stream that to whatever platform that you'd specified. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to keep this window hanging around over here so I can see what's going on. I'll then go to live progress. Live progress is where you monitor the mosaic. So once you've set up the live viewer is on that second screen, and that screen is now ready and waiting for your mosaic images to come through, come back to live progress because this is where you begin the mosaic. And I will go start, okay? And now it's going to be waiting for all the images that it needs to, and they will begin and do what they have to. So any images that are coming in will be coming in over here. They will then move and populate and move into the live viewer. When that live viewer is running, you will have your photo moderation available over here. And as you can see, I have all these images that are going to be in the waiting room folder, right? So I'd be able to select whatever images I want and then move them over here, confirm that move, and then the live viewer would then begin, display those images, and it will go according to plan, right? So just to make sure I haven't lost anyone, let's recap this. So I'm going to come here, let us stop this, and I'm going to clear and restart this mosaic just so that we're all clear as to what's happening. I'm going to talk about settings and backing them up in a little bit, but I just want to start from the beginning, walk you through right up until this point where it's all running in one fluid motion so that you don't have to worry about all the mayhem on needing to catch up. And let's come over here, reset everything here, and stop that. Great. So I'll create a new session. Okay, in this case, I have a session going. And let me come over here. Yeah, these are my hashtag images. So let me make sure that these are all clear as well. There's a lot of things going on over here. Let's do this. No longer. Oh, they've all disappeared. All right, I'll just skip these. Okay. Don't you love it when it all goes like that? So I'm going to close this, just start everything from scratch for you guys so you can see where it is and how it all begins. This hashtag folder, all of these locations have been moved because I moved them out of the folder when I moved it through to Muse Mosaic. So try again. Let's cancel this and just create a new folder, just because I feel frisky. Okay, new folder. Let me call this webinar, so we can keep going. Great, and I will place that here. And then I'm going to start from scratch and walk you through that process so you can see how it all begins. Oh, very loud car. Good sounding exhaust, I must say. Okay, so I'm going to create a new session. Okay, I'm going to call this session... Any suggestions in the comments? Anyone paying attention that wants to give me a name? I'll wait and hold just a bit for a trusty assistant. What?
Safer at home.
Safer at home, all right, we'll go with Safer at Home as my session name. I think I know how to spell, I think. Okay, great. So, Safer at Home is now going to be my mosaic. Okay, so event admin, that's my billboard image. I have Safer at Home already selected, but just to show you where that process is, I'll go to billboard image, scroll down, select. There we go. Safer at Home is now done. Ooh. They are very frisky. You should be staying at home. Why are you driving around like a loon? Who knows? Okay, so that's busy going on. I've now put my billboard image in. That's good. Print layout is fine. My printers, I don't have any selected. That's good here. I'm going to randomize my placement. Extra images I'm not going to use. Okay. Photo moderation, we will wait for that. I'm going to go to admin. Select my hashtag folder. In this case, I want it to be webinar. Okay, there we go. Done. All these options we will discuss in a little bit. Photo moderation, I'm going to activate that hashtag folder so that that is working. Okay, and I'm not going to use tile dynamics or anything crazy like that. I'm going to go to the live viewer. That's animating. My animations are animating. My ads, I don't have any, so let's add them. I will go here, I'll go Muse Mosaic test graphics, adverts. Great, now my ads are available. Select all media, I'll activate those. I want a black color background. Okay, and then my logo and backdrop are available should I want to use them as well. Right, so let's put this all into practice, okay? So I have everything set up, I've already talked to everyone, that's all good, my mosaic settings are good, my tuning is great. So let's go to live viewer, open up a live viewer window, go to live progress, and remember I've turned on the activate the hashtag folder, and I'm going to click start. Okay, nothing is going to happen right now because there's nothing selected. So I'm now going to do this, go over to my mosaic images, let's come over here, and let's just pick a few random images to copy over to my webinar folder. I do that. Okay, as you can see, these are the images, for example, that would be coming in from the internet automatically. They'd be ending up in this webinar folder. If I go to photo moderation, this is where they are. Okay, I will then be able to take these folders or these images, give it a few moments while they all copy over and make sure that they are where they need to be, and then I would then move them over, and then the live viewer would begin and play the mosaic images as they need to be. So right now they're just being transferred over, and when that's done, your mosaic would continue and everything would work according to plan. Do you have any questions? Hopefully everyone is still with us during this mosaic webinar. If you have any issues or questions, please ask us in the comments. We have our team who are answering questions over there to make sure that you are able to do the things that you need to do. And that is a general overview of how you would start a mosaic. And then when it's done, if you are doing these features, let's make sure that this is all functional. I think I've lost my Muse Mosaic window. Right, I will then come through over here, move things over, and that's where it would begin. Right now, we have a ton of images that are on the waiting room folder, and then that's where you would then physically copy them over like that. Move confirmation, yes. and then it would appear and be ready to go. So let's talk about some of the new features that are available in Muse Mosaic, because I know that we've been talking for a long time, and let's actually show you some of the new features that are capable here. So the Activate Hashtag folder is a new feature that exists. It allows you to, as I've been demonstrating this entire time, take images that are coming from the internet, put them in a very safe place, vet those images, and then allow the mosaic to continue. So that's a great new feature over there. Another feature we have is the video time-lapse feature. So this allows you to save a time-lapse of the mosaic as it fills out over time. And then you can save that in the resolution that you choose, and then you can have that as a file you can give to your client. So in addition to saving a very high resolution picture of the mosaic, you can save a video time-lapse of the mosaic as it completes as well. Another feature that Muse Mosaic has that already exists, but I want to actually mention, is the winner feature. So you have contest mode. In this case, you can ask the software to, in this case, select 5 winners or however many winners you want, and then those would be randomly placed on the mosaic, and you can have special logos, identify who those winners are, and then they could win a prize. So the identifying picture comes up, oh yeah, this person's won something. It puts a logo on it, it puts an overlay on it, and then this is a great way to keep interacting with the software and making sure that everything is going where you want it to. So that's a great thing to keep in mind over time. Okay, and that's where that is. There's your winner images. You can activate winner locations. You can show the location of where that winner is and do so from there. There are a ton of features that Muse Mosaic has, from the ability to edit photos using chroma key to really robust backup features. So say you have a power failure in the middle of your event, or the lights go off, you were running on a desktop as opposed to a laptop, you forgot to bring your UPS and everything shuts down. When you turn it back on, you have the ability to restore a mosaic, and then crucially restore it from a particular point. So for example, once the mosaic has completed, or prior to it completing, if you wish to restore the mosaic to a certain point before a bad picture arrived that you haven't had the time to swap out, you can immediately go back, start the mosaic from this point, resume, and you are good to go. Mosaic is continually backing up in the background, but you can also come through here and save mosaic settings and export settings in order to resume a mosaic whenever you need to. So there are a ton of features that are available for you to choose to make sure that your software is robust and that it works in the way that you intend. One thing I want to mention, our support site. Please remember, we have a fantastic support team behind you every step of the way. You can come through to our support site, support.laphotoparty.com. You can type in Muse Mosaic, or in my case over here, I've got a really great Getting Started section, and this will walk you through step by step, setting up Muse Mosaic, seeing how it all works, and getting you sorted with that. Any questions, any issues, please call us, the number's over here, or send us an email, and we will respond to you as soon as we can. We also have a great Photo Party Upload user group on Facebook that also has users who use our software, not just Mosaic, but PPU and PBU at the same time, who have experience and are able to assist you with any questions that you may have. And we're getting towards the end of this, so let's open it up for a bit of a Q&A. I think we have a little bit of time, so ask any questions that you want me to personally answer in the comments section. I know that we've got some staff members and team members who are answering questions as we go, but if there's anything that you would like me to answer in person, please let me know before we wrap things up. So let's see what we have, if anything.
Kim asked about pricing.
Pricing, good question. So are you talking about how you would price Mosaic to a client, or the price of the software that we are providing?
I'm waiting for a response.
Apparently my dance move come at a premium, so I shouldn't be giving them away this cheaply. I'm just going to stand here and wait for a response.
Price to purchase the software.
Okay, I'll just give you all the information required. The software itself retails for $5,000. that gives you the software license alone. That license is good for one computer. So designate a computer as your Mosaic computer, and then that will be the software license computer that it lives on. If you have multiple events spanning multiple cities and you need different license solutions, please talk to me. I'm able to organize discounts and get you going with the licenses that you need to make your event a success. The hardware package is something that we offer as well, where yes, you can buy just the software from us, or you can also purchase a full hardware package where we provide a very powerful laptop which has been vetted and verified to run Muse Mosaic at optimal settings. We will provide a printer, media, and various other things like the magnetic mounting system and a couple of backdrops and magnets just to get you started. It's essentially a full turnkey business. Here you go. And that, I believe, is $9,000 for the hardware. So software, $5,000, hardware is the $8,000, and then the whole thing becomes a turnkey solution from there. Am I right? Yeah. 99995 for the hardware package. But if you need any more details, please email me, Vivi at laphotoparty.com. That's Victor Indigo at laphotoparty.com, and I can email you all this pricing information, as well as some amazing videos as to what Muse Mosaic is capable of and how it works in real time. Fantastic. We are winding down towards the end of our time over here, so any further questions? Anything pressing and urgent that you would like to know?
Where to buy the sticker squares?
So that will depend entirely on the printer that you have. So the media that you have will determine the type of squares that you get. I've seen them on Amazon. You can get a roll of media, which is around 850 to 900 stickers as 2x2 stickers off Amazon. Delivery may be delayed due to the current pandemic that's going on, but you can get these online. You aren't tied in to purchase them exclusively from us. So Amazon is where I found a lot of them, but you can also reach out to your printer manufacturer and they should have media available as well. If you want to just simplify everything, talk to us. We can package an entire solution for you, and that way you don't have to worry about it. Right. I don't think we have many other questions. With that, I think we should be...
He does ask how the hashtag photos end up in the folder, but that's using PPU. So
yes, that's using Photo Party Upload. So that's a separate piece of software that works together. So PPU, and Muse Mosaic can all work together to make a Muse Mosaic event happen. In this case, using hashtags, I'll be using Photo Party Upload. Photo Party Upload would have hashtag printing turned on. It would pull images from Twitter or Instagram and then place them in that hashtag folder. From that folder, it will then be imported directly into the Muse Mosaic software. If you have roaming photographers, if you have a static photo booth, and you have hashtag printing all going at the same time, they can all feed the Mosaic and make it happen. So if you are using Resilio Sync, which is a free software, or if you're using Dropbox Folder Sync, all of these can be synchronized with that hashtag folder that I mentioned, and then they can start to populate the Mosaic from there. So that's how you would receive images remotely. Right, I think that just about does it. Do we have any more?
Okay, so they're asking about a video. I did post a link to a complete video from beginning to end of a Mosaic filling out, so they should be able to click on that link.
Very nice. We've got a link that we've provided you for that, so if you want to see complete video and how that looks.
I don't know if it showed up though. Maybe YouTube is having trouble. I don't think YouTube allows links to show up in the chat.
Aha. All right.
Let me find out a way to get people that link,
okay,
and they can watch it from beginning to end.
All right. We are going to get you a link so you can watch a video of Mosaic fill out from beginning to end. So stand by for that. I don't think YouTube is allowing us to post a link directly for people to watch. So minor technical hitch, but we will get that to you shortly so you can check it out. So, barring any other questions, you can get in touch with our support team. You can email me directly. Discounts are available for people who are interested in Muse Mosaic. Just send me a message and let's see what we can do for you. thanks very much for taking the time to join me on this rather austere day. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and have yourselves a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are.